and estates, and to amend the general statutes to treat wills and revocable trust alike in construction, interpretation, and administration when a marriage is dissolved by absolute divorce or annulment after execution of the will or revocable trust, as recommended by the North Carolina Bar Association. And the following bill, duly ratified, properly enrolled, and prepared for presentation to the Office of the Secretary of State, Senate Bill 169, an act to provide for various local changes.
I believe we are prepared to go to the calendar. And Senator Raven, for what purpose you rise?
Motion, please, Mr. President.
State your motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that the following bills be removed from today's floor calendar and placed on the floor calendar of September 19th. House Bill 361, Require Report Protection and Advocacy Agency, and House Bill 415, Stop Addiction, Fraud, Ethics Act of 2023.
So ordered. Local bill conference report for adoption. House Bill 5. Clerk will read.
House Bill 5, Local Changes Omnibus.
Senator Moffitt is recognized to explain the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do move that the Senate do adopt the conference report. This conference report came together yesterday fairly quickly. I would like to thank the pro tem staff as well as central staff for working very diligent to actually put this together. I know this has been caucused by both sides, and I stand prepared to answer any questions.
Discussion or debate? Hearing none, question for the Senate is the motion to adopt the conference report to House Bill 5 on second reading. All in favor of the motion will vote aye. All opposed will vote no. 5 seconds be allowed for the voting. Clerk will record the vote. Senator Jarvis. Senator Jarvis. It is my understanding that Senator Jarvis had requested and has been granted a leave. 34 having voted in the affirmative, 10 in the negative. The motion carries and the bill will remain on the calendar.
Mr. President.
Senator Raven, for what purpose you rise?
Motion, please.
State your motion.
I move that House Bill 5 be placed on the September 19th floor calendar for its third reading.
So ordered. Public bill for concurrence, Senate Bill 492. Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 492, Adult Corrections Law Enforcement Changes.
Senator Britt's recognized to explain the motion.
Mr. President, members, this bill came through this chamber, was voted unanimously. There were a few minor technical corrections from Administrative Office of the Courts, as well as a few additional requests from the Department of Adult Correction. This is an agency bill, no opposition. Every agency involved worked on this together. I ask that you concur.
Discussion or debate? Hearing none, question for the Senate is the motion to concur in the House Committee substitute to Senate Bill 492. All in favor will vote aye. All opposed will vote no. 5 seconds be allowed for the voting. Clerk will record the vote. (44) having voted in the affirmative, none in the negative. The motion does carry. The bill will be enrolled and sent to the governor. I believe that completes our calendar. Are there any notices or announcements? Senator Hannig, for what purpose you rise?
Senatorial statement.
You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I rise to honor Dr. Charles F. Roberts, Sr. Whereas on September 16, 2023, a ceremony will be held in the town of Seaboard to dedicate a state historical marker commemorating the life of Dr. Nicholas F. Roberts, Sr. And whereas Dr. Roberts was born on October 13, 1849 in the town of Seaboard and grew up on a farm. In 1878, he was a member of the first graduating class of Shaw Collegiate Institute, now Shaw University. Later, he earned his doctorate of Divinity from Shaw University and completed postgraduate work at the Divinity School in the University of Chicago. And whereas, after graduation from Shaw University, Dr. Roberts served for a short time as the principal of the Peabody School in Warrenton, before accepting a position as a mathematics professor and head of the Department of Mathematics at Shaw University. And whereas Dr. Roberts would remain at Shaw University for 50 years, serving in a number of positions including Dean of Faculty, Dean of the School of Theology, Vice President, and Acting President, following the death of founder Henry Martin Tupper, making him the first African American to serve as president of historically black college and university. Whereas Dr. Roberts' accomplishments include helping to organize the Colored Baptist Sunday School Convention in 1873, serving as pastor of the Blunt Street Baptist Church in Raleigh from 1882 to 1891, co-editor of the African Expositor, president and co-founder of the North Carolina Negro Teachers Association, being elected as an alderman for the city of Raleigh and becoming the only African American to serve in the Wake County School Board in the 19th century. Now, therefore, it is fitting to honor the life and memory of Dr. Charles F. Nichols Roberts Sr., in a distinguished citizen of the state, and to express the appreciation to historian Rodney Pierce for his efforts in getting a state historical marker to commemorate Dr. Roberts. Mr. President, members, I present this senatorial statement, and Mr. President, if I could have this spread across the journal.
That objection is so ordered, and upon the motion of Senator Bobby Hanig of Currituck County, Chair is happy to extend courtesies to Rodney D. Pierce, representing the family of Dr. Nicholas Roberts. If you're in the gallery, please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your service. Other notices or announcements? Senator Bergen, for what purpose you rise?
Thank you, Mr. President. A point of personal privilege.
You have the floor.
Yesterday, I was asked to speak to a group that's still meeting and will be meeting the rest of this week. 250 folks are together right now working on the implementation of EPIC in all 14 of our mental health and health facilities across the state. I want to thank everyone in here because in the budget 2 sessions ago, we put money to implement this. Before we did this, and before this implementation, all of those facilities were using paper files. When I went to over to visit the different hospitals, and when I went to Cherry, the first one I went to, people were carrying these big files with paper as they would go to different sessions. And when I met with staff and the head of Cherry and the psychiatrist, I asked them, what are the top 3 things you all need? The first one they said was electronic medical records. So because of us and what we put in the budget, that is happening today. But think about that. Now, everyone that goes to one of those facilities, their records will be available to every hospital in the state of North Carolina instantaneously. And I just want to thank you all for that. Thank you.
Other notices or announcements? Is there further business to come before the Senate? If not, Senator Heiss is recognized for a motion.
Thank you once again, Mr. President. I move that the Senate do now adjourn, subject to the provisions of Senate Rule 24.1, to reconvene on Thursday, September 14th, 2023 at noon. This will be a non-voting session. There will be no voting session tomorrow.
Motion is that the Senate do now adjourn, subject to the stipulations stated by Senator Heiss, to reconvene on Thursday, September 14, 2023 at 12 p.m. Seconded by Senator Hanig. All in favor will say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands adjourned.